raising physical standards for combat positions to male levels, toughening grooming standards, and doing away with racial quotas. The secretary also calling for an end to, quote, woke culture in the military.
No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. As I've said before, and will say again, we are done with that.
Here, Elizabeth, Marcia, Justin, Alfonso. Justin, we'll start here with you. We know that Hegseth slammed, quote, toxic leaders that he accused of lowering standards that would make the Defense Department, or the Department of War, as he likes to say, too woke. Do you think he went too far today? What's your take, Justin?
Dan, look, I'm not in the military, so I can't say what those men and women thought about this speech today. But as an American citizen, I'm left with far more questions than answers. Like, who asked for this TED Talk? When several outlets reported that Trump walked out to complete silence, that basically told me everything I needed to know. And there seemed to be so much more of an emphasis on appearance and the treatment of men and women in the military. It felt way darker than inspirational, because it was a culture war. It wasn't about the things that are actually threatening this country and domestically and abroad. It was about, like, I don't like certain months that are dedicated to these soldiers, when, keep in mind, for a period in time, these type of people weren't even allowed in the military. It's about celebrating the diversity of the military. But as we've seen, diversity isn't anything to be celebrated with this current administration.
Elizabeth, though, when you think about what the secretary said today, was there anything wrong with the standards that he really wanted to lay out throughout his speech?
I certainly didn't think so. I was reading reports about it, and then I tuned in to actually watch what was said. And I have to be honest, I had figure skating coaches when I was 12 years old that were tougher on me and had tougher standards than this. I did not see anything wrong. He's talking about grooming standards and physical fitness tests. I mean, this is the Department of War. This is nothing. I guarantee you all those people in that audience have heard much worse on a day-to-day basis and have been through much worse than sitting there today and listening to what I thought was an inspirational speech from their leader. I think there's a time and place for everything, and maybe the Department of War isn't the time and place for anything but a celebration of who we are as a country and trying to make us as strong as humanly possible when we face threats from around the world that are only growing every single day. I think this was good. I think it was inspirational, and I did not think anything except positive, patriotic thoughts when I was listening to this.
Flying in all of these leaders from across the world, taking them off of their posts to fly in for this very political speech when the military is supposed to be apolitical, just sends the wrong message. It sends the message that this is about, using the military as a prop, which Trump really loves to do. When I asked my husband about this, he's a retired Marine of 30 years. He said this could have been an email to them, new standards. But, a speech like this just undermines the professionalism expected in senior military ranks. And the reason that the room was quiet is because they are expected to be apolitical. They were just, waiting for the order.
Alfonso, what's your take here? Do you feel like he was hitting on some concerns of these generals that maybe people aren't aware of, or do you think he missed the mark?
I don't know. I think I agree with Elizabeth. I think it was a great speech. And contrary to what my colleagues on the left are saying, he didn't want to talk about culture or politics. To the contrary, what he's saying is we have to take out those cultural issues, those radical ideologies that we kept hearing about during the Biden administration, pushing DEI, CRT, gender ideology. Take it out of the military. The military is not a political platform to have debates about those issues. What you want is the armed forces focus on combat and preparing for combat. That's it. And the reaction is positive, because this message, the administration started with this message from day one, and we've seen enrollment numbers go up, because our young people respond to that. They want to join the military because they understand what it means, defending our freedoms. They don't want to join the military to enter some sort of forum where they're going to be continuously bombarded with all sort of crazy radical ideologies.